Here's what is real. The Washington football team,
Whoa.
with a quarterback who has now crossed the threshold beyond 25% of the league. He's up to team number 9.
That's insane.
Ryan Fitzpatrick on a 1-year, $10 million deal reportedly with incentives that would take it to $12 million, twice what he was making with the Dolphins, which may tell us everything we need to know about whether or not he's the guy. He joins the depth chart with Kyle Allen and Taylor Heineke, and he's clearly the best guy walking through the door. And there's Ryan Fitzpatrick a long time ago, and look at it. I thought Charlie Whitehurst had a hell of a transformation during his time in the NFL. I mean, this guy's been around almost as long as Tom Brady, and he's been with all these different teams, most recently the Dolphins, where he was the relief pitcher, a position that you ideally wouldn't have on a football team. No, baseball, yes. But you want your quarterback to be able to finish the game. This isn't about needing to wrap your arm in ice. This is, hey, we need a spark, and Fitzpatrick brings it. My only concern about Fitzpatrick, when you go all in and make him your guy, inevitably, Fitzmagic becomes Fitztragic, and you start looking to see who else you could put on the field. That happens everywhere he's the starter.
You're right. You know, I guess you could maybe look at Miami a little, Mike. I don't know. Do you agree? Did that happen in Miami? It might be the first place where I went like, okay, it didn't become Fitztragic. It didn't, but it wasn't great.
They knew last year. They knew last year when to use him and when to get him out.
Right. No doubt about it.
That was the key.
They did. That was the key. And you know, hey, $10 million, you know, Washington, that position, that team right now, I mean, I don't know what they're going to do. It's going to be interesting to see. You know, they're sitting in no man's land like we talked about last week as far as the NFL draft's concerned with 20. I don't know if somebody will be there that you can just say, oh, we're going to be able to play him this year. His contract tells you that, you know, it's really good backup money, yet, you know, if you do play, it's pretty good money there, and we're going to let you earn more. So it makes sense from all angles. One, it makes sense for Ryan Fitzpatrick. Yeah, you got a chance to maybe be the starter once again. And then for Washington, you know, again, Mike, that's one of those teams when we hit the NFC East a few weeks ago, the more you kind of dig into them, you just go, man, Washington's close. It's not far away here. You know, there's a lot of good things to like about their football team here. And, of course, they still have some money to spend, and we'll see where it all goes. But makes sense for them, and I think it makes sense for Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Here's what I like about this, too. To the extent Washington is plotting to try to take a quarterback, if there's a guy they fall in love with who they think may be there at 19,
right,
having Fitzpatrick now makes it far less glaring as the picks start to go 13, 14, 15, 16. If you're in the 20s or out of round 1 and there's a guy you love who's sliding toward 19, if it's just Kyle Allen and Taylor Heineke, you may as well have a billboard outside of your facility saying, hey, watch us take a quarterback at 19, so somebody knows they got to get to 18 minimum to keep that from happening. Now with Fitzpatrick, it's less obvious that you got to get in front of 19. And that would be the irony for Fitzpatrick for the second straight year. Here comes a first-round quarterback to marginalize me and relegate me eventually to the bench once the rookie's ready, and possibly to become the relief pitcher if the rookie struggles. But at least he's getting $10 million this year as compensation for possibly being jerked around by a coaching staff that won't go all in with him. I'd love to see what happens if they go all in. Just treat this year as all in. It's Ryan Fitzpatrick. Let's ride it as far as we can. And if he gets injured, then we got Heineke and we got Allen, but let's go all in with Fitzpatrick and see where he can take us. I mean, this is a team that won the division. This is a team that, like you said, they're not that far off. It was just one of those moves that once it happened, it was like the clouds part.
Yeah, you're like, why didn't I think of that?
The sun shines, right, and you're like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
Right?
No, it totally is. And, Mike, I think you kind of, you're spot on. It takes that pressure away. You can go into the year and just go, these are our quarterbacks. So what? We're going to play the same way we did last year, except, hopefully they'll get them a few more weapons than maybe Alex Smith and Kyle Allen had. We talked about they need another receiver to go opposite of Terry McLaurin. You do that, you got Ryan Fitzpatrick, who at this point of his career is better than Alex Smith and can make more plays with his arm and do those type of things. Again, I think that's on the table to what you're saying. unless maybe the right quarterback falls in their lap via the trade, or, maybe like you're talking about at pick 19, maybe it's one of those things where one of these quarterbacks is there to be had maybe early in the second round and they trade up there to get him. I don't know. They got a lot of different avenues now, though, but they're not like pushed in the corner to what you're saying here. There's options, and they can also just go, we'll stand pat with what we got. We'll kind of see and use 2021 to figure out our next move for our quarterback for 2022 and so on.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.